Hey everyone, thanks so much for clicking on today's video. Today I'm talking about how I got AFPA certified. I took their holistic nutrition program, and over the course of the past 6-7-ish months I did that, and I finally printed out my certificate and everything, and it's official. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist. I don't really know for sure what I'm going to be doing with this qualification right now in my life and career plans. I wanted to do it just because nutrition was something that always interested me a little, and so I figured might as well just get a little qualification from it too. So I'm super happy I did that, and basically in this video I'm going to be sharing 3 things: why I signed up for that and why I even chose to do that program in specific. Next I'll be talking about what the program was like, so just kind of the curriculum and everything, and then finally I'll just kind of give my overall main takeaways, so to just be helpful for anyone who might want to participate in a program like this themselves. And of course, if you have any questions, just leave a comment below or email me. My email will also be in the description box. So without further ado, let's just get into kind of why I signed up for this program in the first place. Earlier on in 2020, kind of during early summertime, kind of ending my school year, I was basically really confused and trying to figure out my next steps in life. I made a whole nother video about this, but I dropped out of my college I was studying at. I was studying engineering there, and I figured out myself that I didn't want to continue down that path, so I kind of was exploring what I might want to do instead, schooling and education wise. One of the first things I thought of was trying to do something health related. After seeing a few ads just like on the internet of other programs that were kind of pretty expensive, not like I want to invest that much money into it quite yet, I decided to just do my own searching around, and I stumbled upon AFPA Fitness. They offer a wide variety of things, from the more fitness side to the more nutrition side of things, and kind of explored through that and found their holistic nutrition program, and that seemed the most appealing. I decided to do a more nutrition related one just because over time I realized I think that was a lot more of where my interests lied in, not really the whole working out and fitness deal. I always cared about my general health and what I put into my body and how I treat it and everything. So I thought the holistic nutrition program sounded the best. It sounded like it had the most information that covered a whole wide range of things. I've always been interested in health in general, like I said, but not really the medical side. So I didn't really want to deal with the pharmaceutical end of the whole medical field. I want to deal with more the health and wellness side, and that's what I liked about AFPA Fitness. It just kind of covered all those bases of more holistic wellness. Also, that if I ever did want to pursue a career in this, I definitely want to try to do something more with one-on-one coaching, not necessarily being a upper level nutritionist or dietitian, because I realize a lot of the problems with many people is that they kind of know what to do. It's just a matter of how to do it and how to gear something towards someone's specific lifestyle and how to make those accommodations so they feel more willing or incapable of doing whatever their goals are going to be. And so I figured this sounded super perfect. Overall, I really liked what the whole program was about, and then I looked through the curriculum, what I'll talk about a bit more next. But according to what I was doing in life, I was ready to start community college, and this seemed like a great program to do just on the side. So I took a few community college classes still, but kind of a lighter load, and then did this alongside with it. So that being said, now I'm going to be talking about the curriculum itself, so kind of what the books went over and the general ideas of the whole program and what the assignments were like. For the holistic nutrition program that I did, basically they gave us access to 6 books, and each book kind of covered different parts of the nutrition practice, so kind of going from the health side and like more medical details about it, to personal experiences, to the hands-on consulting practice itself. Each book was really different, and it was great to get a wide variety of perspectives on the information. One of the main focuses of all the books was kind of this whole foods plant-based diet, and that was what I was really interested in learning about. I'd say the books were really great at kind of covering all bases of that, not only proving its point, but also kind of the setbacks or what people might question about it, and really reaffirming why they believe what they're writing about. And my favorite book was, I think it was called The Whole Foods Diet. It was kind of the most easy to read and understand for myself. The other ones were a little bit more specific and kind of very technical terms being used throughout it. And the Whole Foods Diet one was a lot more easy to understand. It gave some personal experiences and everything. If I were to recommend any of the books from the set that I read, it would definitely be that one. So if you are looking for a book to just kind of learn a little bit about healthier eating and what a lot of people are saying about kind of trying to go more natural and step away from the processed foods, I think the Whole Foods Diet one was really great for covering all that information without being too much to try to wrap your head around. After you read each book, you have a task of completing some written questions where you just do short written responses. All of the information is found in those books you read. Once you read the book, you answer those questions and email that information to someone from AFPA. I thought that process was pretty simple. The only thing was that I kind of wish there was a site or some kind of form where you could be writing the questions and answers. For my program, you kind of just had to make a Word doc or a Google doc and write it and type everything out on that yourself, and then you email it in. It'd be kind of cool if there was a website to do all that and kind of organize it a bit better. As for the content, I think it was really easy to understand and easy to work with. It was a good pace, I felt like. They kind of give you a calendar to work through, and if you can stay on track of that, it'd be really great. You can easily finish it in the 6 months. In addition to those main books that the curriculum focuses on, there's also a set of videos you can watch, and there's tons of them. They all cover kind of specific little topics, and they're really short, but those are just kind of supplementary to what the books are about and just give a little bit more recent up-to-date knowledge on those. Finally, when you're done reviewing all those books and videos, there's a final exam that you do at the end of the 6 months. You'll get approved to get access to the testing site, and you have one other month. So in addition to the 6 months, you have like a 7th month to complete that. I almost forgot to mention there's also a kind of little practical thing you do on the side where you take a family member or a friend, whoever you want to interview, and you kind of make a meal plan and health goals with them. They also provide you some resources like handouts that you can use through the interview. So I thought that was a really cool part of it as well. It also cost around $800, I believe. That's how much it costed for me. At first I was like, oh, that sounds like a lot, but also like I compared it to a lot of different health certification programs, and that was one of the most affordable ones. And I also like that there's tons of programs to choose from if you do want to advance your career in the future. So overall, I definitely recommend it. I'll leave some resources to their website below if you want to check it out more, and of course feel free to comment if you have any questions. And finally, I just kind of wanted to go over a couple of the main takeaways and lessons that I picked up from like the reoccurring themes in each of the books I read and all the videos and everything. Same thing, I won't try to go too in depth with anything because honestly I don't even remember like the nitty-gritty details, but I thought it'd be helpful to just go over some of the main takeaways, see if it's something that aligns with what you're interested in, and also I think they're just good things to spread knowledge about. These were the main things that stuck with me in my brain and I really remembered and were really solidified with each book I read. They have them written down in this little notebook. One of the first ones was that we as a society overall, I think, kind of need to start making a shift from treating the effects of an illness or a disease and going to instead treat the causes of that disease. On TV you get so many ads of pills and medicines for whatever under the sun, so I thought it was really interesting to learn more about how the medical industry started off, treating more of the acute illnesses. If you break something or have an open wound, or, early on treating some of the common flus or sicknesses like that where they're passed on to people. But when talking about chronic illnesses, heart disease or lung disease, they're all things that are more so fixed and prevented through lifestyle changes. And those words just kind of how we too often treat the effects of these problems instead of trying to treat the causes of them and trying to prevent them from happening in the first place. And sometimes you can even reverse those illnesses just purely through the lifestyle changes, actually going off their medications, because they often noticed those were just kind of making them go in a loop where they'd get adapted to that medicine and have to start taking more and more, and it wasn't actually healing them or fixing them in any way. It was just kind of numbing the pain for that moment. You need to start actually fixing and healing the whole body instead of just patching it up for the meantime and doing a quick fix like we all often do, because it's become so ingrained in us. You just take a pill for it or just get prescribed whatever your doctor says. And it's not that doctors are bad, it's just the system is a little off in a sense. It's become more of a money-making thing, just making people more aware of that fact, and that doctors aren't always educated in more of the nutrition and prevention field. I think for the past maybe 100 years we're really invested in the medical acute care field, and now that's all we know of. Very interesting. It's very layered, and I'd love to learn more about that. I think that whole point of trying to treat the causes of illnesses and just overall health problems is something that's really important. Just to kind of acknowledge that you are responsible for your own health, and there are things you can do to make you able to live the healthiest, longest life possible without having to rely on so many medications or procedures that we tend to these days. And then one of the biggest takeaways, of course, kind of the whole theme of the program was kind of how important the whole foods plant-based diet is. The whole idea of it is where you try to minimize the amount of processed foods and also meat or animal products you're consuming, levels of trans fat and saturated fats that aren't really great for you, all the added sugars and salts, and kind of learning what exactly processing is. In the simplest terms, what I really liked from one of the books is that processed food is where bad things are added and the good things are taken away. So that's kind of how a lot of our foods these days are. They'll refine it to the point, with white bread or white rice. It's processed to take out the good fibers, and then it's also processed in a way where salts might be added or sugars might be added, with pastries or chips that we get at the store. And just how that's really the worst thing about our modern diet. There's the acronym SAD, which stands for the Standard American Diet. And it's not only America too, it's just kind of the industrialization of a lot of countries and communities across the whole globe. It is sad, just how we're losing touch with really where our food comes from, and everything goes through a factory before getting onto our plates. The different topics that the books went through to prove that the whole foods plant-based diet is so good were really eye-opening and thought-provoking. One of the main topics I really remembered was, I think mentioned in the Whole Foods Diet book, was the topic of blue zones. Basically what blue zones are these, I think, 5 places across the world where they have the longest living people, and they kind of compared all of their diets and lifestyles and saw the main reoccurring commonality they had was that they all ate a whole foods plant-based diet. The whole topic of the blue zones was really interesting and most important to me, just because a lot of the scientific evidence can sometimes be misconstrued in a way where it is really hard to tell what exactly is causing the benefits. Sometimes it's like, was it the meat exactly, or was it the type of meat, or was it maybe other things they started doing once they adopted this healthier lifestyle? And it's just very hard to pinpoint those exact things. I think for me, my main takeaway was that you don't necessarily have to cut out meat or have to completely eliminate processed foods like the meat and animal products, for example, unless you're doing it for ethical reasons, which I've never personally been compelled to do. It's not really needed in my own opinion. And basically with the blue zones, like I mentioned, those areas were places where people still ate mostly unprocessed foods. They lived in communities where it was kind of standard to not eat meat so often. It was treated more as a special occasion treat. It's this overall difference in comparing it to what we normally do, like our standard American ways, and what these other communities do. It was cool to notice that it really is a community effort. Like, it's hard to completely shift your mentality when everyone around you is not doing the same things. That was just really inspiring to me, because it's all about these societal nudges and little pushes that we can do to make it more normal to start caring and making healthier choices. I think in my future it'd be really cool to do something community-based and working with the community and like youth in particular. That whole topic of how community change is really the spark of all of these health improvements was really cool to learn about, and I highly recommend you do your own research on the blue zones. I personally think it's the only proof you need to notice that a whole foods plant-based diet is good for you. Focusing on nutrition is really about getting those nutrients for your body, but it also doesn't need to be to the point where it's taking over your life. I think I found that good balance of thinking about it but not stressing about it, and that's what I highly encourage you all to do. Also, just remember everything is holistic. That was also one huge takeaway. I mean, the program's called Holistic Nutrition. It's just that everything in your body is connected, so you gotta make sure you get those nutrients. Also make sure to have physical activity and everything. Also maintain your mental health, because everything's tied together and they'll all affect each other in one way or another. And with that being said, I just hope this video was educational in some way. If you're looking into the program or not, maybe you also got some health tips or just topics to think about and do research on yourself if you want to. Of course, if you have any questions about the program or anything at all, please leave a comment down below. Make sure to subscribe for more videos. I'm going to try posting every Monday or Tuesday from now on, every week. I've kind of been off of that just because, I don't know, but I'll try to get back more on that now, and especially focus more on health related videos, just because that's kind of why I made this whole channel. Definitely health focused, but a lot of just whatever I want to post, just random life things. Definitely subscribe if you want to see more of me every week, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.